Major changes ahead for Kailyn Lowry and Javi Marroquin. After years of 50-50 custody, Javi's upcoming move is shaking up their co-parenting arrangement, leaving Lincoln caught in an emotional crossroad. In a heartfelt podcast episode, the exes open up about the challenges, tough decisions, and how Lincoln is handling it all. Plus, Javi shares an emotional message about fatherhood and their future. Don't miss this deep dive into their evolving family dynamic. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates. What do you think about this custody change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Kailyn Lowry is experiencing another major shift in her life. On the latest episode of her podcast, Barely Famous, the 33-year-old mother of 7 sits down with her former husband, Javi Marroquin, to talk about an important change in how they co-parent their son. The two share 11-year-old Lincoln and have maintained a 50-50 custody arrangement since finalizing their divorce in 2016. However, that arrangement is about to undergo a significant adjustment. Javi, who has been raising Lincoln alongside Kailyn in Delaware, is now set to relocate. He has been stationed in Virginia due to his career in the Air Force and will be moving later this summer. As the father of 3, who also has a 9-month-old daughter, Maisie Joelle, and a 6-year-old son, Eli, with his fiancée, Lauren Como, he explained that he had done everything in his power to remain in Delaware for as long as possible before reaching this decision. Reflecting on his career, Javi shared that he initially served 6 years on active duty before transitioning to a different role to avoid moving. During that time, he opened a gym and switched to a position in the Air Force Reserves. Later, an opportunity arose when a gym client offered him a position that would allow him to remain stationed in Delaware. He seized the chance, extending his stay in the state. However, after exhausting all available assignments that would allow him to remain in Delaware, Javi was left with no choice but to accept the move. As he prepared for the transition, Javi approached Kailyn to discuss what their new custody arrangement would look like. The conversation was difficult, as both parents wanted Lincoln to stay with them. Javi felt strongly that at Lincoln's current age, their father-son bond was particularly important. He emphasized that the next few years were crucial for their relationship and his ability to guide his son through his formative years. Kailyn, on the other hand, had been considering the long-term picture. She explained that when the discussions about Javi's potential relocation began, Lincoln was 10 years old, and she believed it would be a completely different conversation when he reached 13. Her proposal was that Lincoln remain with her for now, and they would reassess when he turned 13. At that point, if Lincoln expressed a desire to live with his father, she would be open to revisiting the custody agreement. One point of contention between the two was how Lincoln was informed of the situation. Kailyn was upset that Javi had spoken to their son about the move without her, as she had wanted to break the news together. Javi explained that his intention was to gauge Lincoln's feelings so they could make an informed decision. Unfortunately, the news was difficult for Lincoln to process, and he struggled with strong emotions in both households. He expressed his desire to remain with each of his parents, making the decision even more complex. Javi later addressed the situation on Instagram, where he posted a heartfelt statement acknowledging what had been discussed on the podcast. He shared that keeping his emotions in check had been easier when the news was still private, but once the topic became public, reality set in. He expressed deep sadness over the situation, stating that there was no real victory for anyone involved, not for himself, not for Kailyn, and certainly not for Lincoln. Despite the pain, Javi reassured his followers that one thing remained certain: Lincoln would never have to question his father's love or commitment. The only challenge now was the physical distance between them. He remained optimistic, believing that everything would ultimately work out for the best. During an Instagram Q&A, Javi provided further clarification on the new custody arrangement. Under the revised plan, Kailyn would have Lincoln during the school year, while Javi would have custody during every 3-day weekend, all holidays, and summer breaks. Next year, they would revisit the arrangement and allow Lincoln to have a say in where he wanted to live. When asked if he was okay with the changes, Javi expressed that he was at peace for 2 reasons. First, because he was comfortable with the agreement they had reached, and second, because he had no doubts about his role as a father. He was confident that he and Lauren would continue to be involved in Lincoln's life, making sure he never felt disconnected. Javi also addressed concerns about the amount of time he would lose with Lincoln. Although he acknowledged that the number of days would decrease, he noted that the difference was not as drastic as it might seem. Under the previous agreement, he had 182 days per year with his son. Now that number would be closer to 150. Kailyn and Javi originally moved to Delaware while they were married, and following their divorce, Kailyn chose to remain in the state to raise their son. Over the years, her family has grown, and she now shares her home with Lincoln and his younger siblings. She has 2 daughters, Verse and Valley, who are 16 months old, and a 2-year-old son, Rio, with her fiancé Elijah Scott. Additionally, she has 2 sons, Creed, 4.5, and Luck, 7.5, with her former partner Chris Lopez, as well as her eldest son, 14-year-old Isaac, whom she shares with ex-Joe Rivera. Javi's move affects more than just their family. Kailyn and Javi's decision to settle in Delaware led Joe and V Rivera, along with others, to move, creating a strong support system for Lincoln. While the transition is undoubtedly difficult, both Kailyn and Javi are committed to ensuring that Lincoln continues to have a strong relationship with both parents. They understand the emotional weight of this change, but they are working together to navigate it in a way that prioritizes their son's well-being. As Javi embarks on this new chapter of his career and life, the family remains dedicated to co-parenting work, no matter the obstacles they face. That's a wrap on today's deep dive. Kailyn and Javi's co-parenting journey is taking a huge turn, and Lincoln's future is at the heart of it all. It's never easy making tough decisions as parents, but their commitment to their son remains strong. What are your thoughts on this custody change? Should Lincoln have more say in where he lives? Drop a comment below and let's chat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. More drama, insights, and updates coming soon. Stay tuned.